Hello students, welcome to SRIRAM's IAS. Welcome to this series of One PYQ a day. Today is the topic of ethics. So we are going to discuss a question related with ethics. Deepavali is coming. Happy Diwali to all of you. Celebrate the Diwali well and prepare well for your examination. Your happiness is going to be multifolded if you clear the exam in your first attempt. So let's begin and try to understand this question which was asked in 2024 in the paper of ethics. It is a 150 word question. It's a 10 marker and it's a beautiful question. Now, let's read. Mindless addiction to form. So this is one important keyword here. Ignoring the substance. This is another important keyword of the matter. So if there is any matter, anything, you're taking a decision, you're making a law, you're following orders, in any matter, there is something called the form of it and there is something called the substance of it. What do you really think is more important? Now, let's read the question further and we are going to understand what it's really asking. Result in rendering of injustice. So, mindless addiction to form, ignoring the substance of the matter results in rendering to injustice. So, if you follow the form, but if you ignore the substance, this amounts to injustice. This is the exact thing what they have said. Now, a perceptive civil servant is one who ignores such literalness and carries out true intent. So, true intent and literalness. So, when you say form, it relates to literalness. When you say substance, it relates to true intent. So, see, this is the question about letter and spirit. The law of the land, the constitution, the laws passed by the parliament, the decisions taken by the executive have letter and spirit. Letter versus what is more important? See, if you follow the letter, it is very good. It gives stability, rule of law. It is very important for the functioning, efficient functioning of the governance. Efficient functioning of governance. But what does the spirit says? Spirit is about the intent. Why did a particular law come into existence? What the country wants to achieve through that law. All those things are far more important than the form, far more important than the letter. I hope you are getting it. There is a piece of legislation, let's say, or some regulation. I will give you an example. For example, if you are an officer in some district and several forms have to be filled and the last date of filling that form, let's say, is the 5th date, number 5th of a particular month. It may be October, it may be November, let's say it is October the 5th. That is the last day of filling up a form and submitting the income certificate. I am just giving an example. Now everybody has to submit their income certificate to get several benefit from the government. That is the basic rule which is there. Now there comes a lady after 5th of October and she says that she was unable to submit the form because of her ill health. Will you allow her? An officer who gives too much emphasis on letter, who gives too much emphasis on form, will never allow her the benefits given by the scheme. But somebody who is looking towards the substance, towards the intent of that particular scheme, particular benefit which needs to be given to the old person, will allow even after the lady submits the income certificate after the intended date. I hope you are getting through this example what does letter versus spirit means. So following letter is very good. It gives you stability, it gives you follows the rule of law, efficient functioning of the governance, but the form, for the spirit, that brings what? Morality and ethics into decision making. This brings integrity into decision making. This brings compassion and empathy into decision making. I hope you are getting this. Now, if you follow the form, if you follow the letter and ignore the spirit, what is going to be the outcome? The outcome is going to be bureaucratic rigidity. Bureaucratic rigidity. There is going to be rigidity, so much rigidity that the intent behind a particular scheme, intent behind the decision making of the government will be forgotten, and only the law as it is will be followed. The law which is without soul. Now, if you look at the Menaka Gandhi case, legally also speaking, the Supreme Court after the Menaka Gandhi case in 1970s does not only check the constitutionality of a law through the procedure established, but also through the due process. Now, what is this due process? To look into the substantive form of law. Not only the letter, but also the spirit of the law. What is written inside the law? That is also very much important. So that you can write in the conclusion. Menaka Gandhi case, where the due process of law was also interpreted under Article 21 of the Constitution, not only the procedure established by law. I hope enough information is there for you to write an answer. You can write a beautiful introduction, why letter and spirit both are important, but ignoring the spirit and following only the letter is going to do wrong to the society. Then you can write few points. Following letter will bring you what, and then following a spirit brings you what. Ignoring the spirit and following the letter will bring the bureaucratic rigidity. Moral compass of an officer can be lost. All these points can be written. And finally, in conclusion, you can write about the Menaka Gandhi case, and even the law follows the due process. While the court is checking the constitutionality of the law, they also check the due process. So I hope you have got the answer to this question. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a nice day and Jai Hind.